What's up, world? As the Hungarian experiment, I believe that optimizing our hormones in an attempt to increase our growth hormone levels as much as possible naturally is the key that is going to provide the results that we seek in life in terms of muscle growth, fat loss, and long-term health. But life longevity is also extremely important. A big reason I began experimenting with different factors in my life is because of Dr. Rhonda Patrick. The first time I heard her on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, I was just astounded with the information she was providing that I had to go back and watch this 3-hour podcast about 4 or 5 times. In that podcast, which is now several years old, she was discussing telomere length and DNA damage in relation to vitamin D supplementation, as well as discussing how to naturally boost our hormone levels with heat acclimation by the sauna. If you guys are interested in how I am personally experimenting around with vitamin D supplementation as well as boosting my hormone levels with the sauna, then make sure you go check out the couple videos that'll pop up at the top of the screen here. In those videos, I go into great detail on why I am doing it, as well as the scientific benefits behind it. And I pretty much pulled those straight from Dr. Rhonda Patrick because she is very informative and she likes to go into great detail. So make sure you guys go check out those videos because they're loaded with information. Now, I also encourage you guys to go and follow Dr. Rhonda Patrick along her journey in life, because right now she is discussing something I am extremely fascinated with and I was always curious about as a child and a teen, and that is maternal nutrition. I always found it strange how our society seemed to be all about pregnant women gorging out on highly processed foods. I remember seeing commercials when I was a teen of a pregnant lady sending her man out with a cell phone by his ear where he's just running to 3 or 4 different fast food places to pick up anything and everything she was craving. Because of these commercials, I always questioned and wondered if there were any detrimental effects to eating poorly while you're pregnant. Will this affect the child's development both mentally and physically? I mean, smoking has produced many scientific studies to show that there are detrimental effects happening to this baby. And even hardcore drug users, we see the whole instance of crack babies. So if drugs and smoking can affect your baby while you're pregnant, what about highly processed foods? Well, now thanks to Dr. Rhonda Patrick, we actually have some evidence on the subject as she posted this up to her Facebook just the other day. Mothers with highest folate levels had newborns with telomeres 10% longer and every 10 milligrams per milliliter increase in serum folate levels. Newborns had a 5.8% increase in telomere length. Telomere length is a biomarker for the aging process because they get shorter every year. However, this study suggests that maternal nutrition may actually play a role in determining the length of telomeres that we have to start with. There's clearly more to this topic than meets the eye. Looking forward to hopefully doing a podcast with an expert on telomere research soon. Folate is required to make precursors for the DNA nucleotide, thymine, and for methyl groups, which plays a role in epigenetics. Leafy greens are high in folate, so eat your spinach. And now she actually even posted up a new article, which I want to discuss here. Supplementation with 400 IU of vitamin D during the first year of life led to more muscle mass and less body fat as toddlers. The main source of vitamin D for infants in the first year of life is breast milk. However, if a mother has inadequate levels of vitamin D herself, then the infant will not get a sufficient amount of vitamin D from the milk. This is why I find Dr. Rhonda Patrick so fascinating. All the things that I've been questioning throughout my life are things that she's putting to the test and trying to get scientific results from. Things like maternal nutrition. Everyone's like, food doesn't affect you that bad. And then within just a few decades, people blew up in size. And now we're passing that through to our children and the next generation and the next generation. In my opinion, we're making hormonally deficient human beings. If one generation is eating all this highly processed food, the next child, the next generation, they're going to be weaker inside. They're going to have things that they have to overcompensate for because the nutrients and the food supply that they were getting from the person from before them, the DNA that was passed down, could be damaged, and then passing that on to the next generation, and then another generation. After 5 to 10 generations of children, we're gonna have some of the weakest mentally and physically people ever. And this is devastating because we just want to enjoy ourselves. We want to gorge out on the foods that we like. How selfish, in my opinion. So if you guys are interested in following along my journey as I experiment with different life factors, and you want to get a more scientific, in-depth understanding, or maybe you just want to build up your knowledge base a little bit more, then I really suggest checking out Dr. Rhonda Patrick. I put her website and all her social media in the description box below. So go show her some love and let her know that the Hungarian experiment sent you. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it informative and you like what you saw here today, then go hit that like button and of course, leave me a comment. I am the Hungarian experiment.
And tell the folks what your credentials are, what you do, who you are, and why you are uniquely qualified to explain nutrition and health to these folks.
Absolutely. So my name is Rhonda Patrick. I have a PhD in biomedical science. I did my undergraduate work in biochemistry, chemistry, and now I'm doing a postdoctoral fellowship on nutrition and metabolism. So I started out with synthesizing peptides and doing organic chemistry, and I got really bored with that. And I was a undergraduate sort of student research and intern. So then I decided to try biology out, and I went to the Salk Institute for Biological Sciences in La Jolla, and I did some research on aging using worms as a model because they have a really short lifespan. And so it was really cool to do a lot of genetic manipulation and see how that changed our lifespan. And from there, I was like, oh my God, I freaking love this. I want to get my PhD in biology.